Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Please do like and subscribe. It's down there, folks. And there's a link to my book as well on Amazon. Hey, and if you do read my book on Amazon, please do leave me a review. We're getting lots of good reviews, and I hope that people are honestly enjoying this book. I put a lot of work into it. All three books, actually. Yeah. Now, today I'm going to talk about another show business entity that I know about, slightly diverging away from the jails for the time being, just for a day or two. I'm going to talk about Derek Acorah, who was the psychic medium on a TV series called Most Haunted that was broadcast up to about 2017, I believe it was. Anyway, it's a little known fact here that I was his manager. Not all the time. He came to me round about 1997, and he was asking me to manage him because I managed quite a number of psychics and hypnotists and various other strange acts like that. That's how I got involved in show business, you see, especially when I was managing that pervert PJ Proby. Caused me a lot of grief, that man, as I described in yesterday's broadcast. But, yeah, so Derek Acorah, when I first met him, he was working on, he had a one office, a little small office on Paradise Street in Liverpool, and he was charging, I believe it was £15 per half an hour session for psychic readings, and that's how he was making his living. But I was at the time touring the number one theatre circuit with various shows, one of them being a psychic experience. And the medium that was with me was a man called James Byrne. I also wrote his book, which is published on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. It's not current, but there'll be copies out there. It's called The Psychic World of James Byrne, published by HarperCollins. And so I was doing the number one theatre circuit, putting shows on at places like the Liverpool Empire. We even did the London Palladium. So I was well established by this time, and Derek Acorah wanted me to manage him. And I couldn't at the time because I was very busy with James Byrne and one or two other people. Alan Bates being one, who's a Liverpool-based hypnotist. So anyway, cut a long story short, he finally found me at a theatre and said, "Look, I really think that I can do this." So I had a word with Derek, and I said, "Okay, well, let's sit down and see where we can go." Because it was coming to the end of the road for myself and James Byrne, because he had achieved what he set out to achieve, believe it or not, and married a rich widow. Yeah. That's what you really want in life, that's what you get. So that's what he did, and he decided he wasn't going to tour anymore. So I had a little bit of space, so I said to Derek, let's sit down and discuss it. And we did, and I found him to be, on a one-to-one basis, a very capable psychic medium. He was capable of actually giving readings on a one-to-one basis, whereby he did come up with names, he did come up with descriptions and details, which was sufficient. But the thing that persuaded me to manage Derek Acorah was the fact that he was very capable of listening and following directions. At the time, I had an occasional show on a radio station called Radio Red Rose, and I was on there doing a comedy show called Professor Dr. Daddy Magumba, PhD, in which I pretended to be a witch doctor. It's definitely not politically correct these days, but we are going back 30 years. and I would get people ringing in saying, Daddy Magumba, make my wish come true. And then I would, generally, it was a joke, I wasn't being serious. But I took Derek Acorah in with me, and he was sat next to me as I was doing this crazy thing for an hour or so on live radio. And of course the people were ringing in and I was generally ripping the piss, And he was laughing so much he actually fell on the floor. But he then got the idea from me that if the one thing that people do like is to be entertained, don't matter how crazy it is, people love it. And so he started to do this mad possession bit, which is how it came about when he was on Most Haunted, that he was Mary Loves Dick and all that nonsense, and Creed Caper, which is an anagram of Derek Faker. But he didn't know that. You see, I don't think he was particularly literate. He wasn't well read or anything like that. And as for his book, I wrote his book from cover to cover. You can see there in there, there's one of my poems in there. I Was Gone is in the Derek Acorah book, The Psychic World of Derek Acorah. You'll see my name on the cover. I ain't not joking. Yeah, so anyway, subsequently I had a connection in America because I was commissioned to do a book in America called Do You Believe in Ghosts? And I teamed up with the head of the International Society for Paranormal Research, a guy who called himself Dr. Larry Montz, a parapsychologist. Well, that didn't work out very well, but I took Derek to Hollywood, and we did a show on Hollywood Boulevard at the Vogue Theatre, which was a big theatre in its day. It had lots of premieres there, and it was right next to the, where all the stars, and they put their hands in the cement. It was next door to that. And strangely enough, when I was in America on Hollywood Boulevard, some woman came up to me. She said, "I've just seen you on TV." I said, "No, really? Yeah." She said, "Can I have your autograph?" Seriously, on Hollywood Boulevard. What had happened was I'd done some work with Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Corporation, and they'd filmed me on a number of things, and they did a show at the MGM Theatre in Orlando, Florida, and I was on there talking about my book Psychic Pets, which is another one of my books. So I don't want to be dropping names here and looking like I'm blowing my own trumpet. I'm just telling you about Derek Acorah, and he turned out to be completely dishonourable. He said, if you get me into America, he said, I'll pay all the expenses. When it came time to pay the hotel bills, he ain't got no money. So my wife paid. She was with us, you see. Don't go gallivanting around the world without my wife. Don't go out without my wife. I'm a great believer in wherever I go, she must come with me, if it's possible. Occasionally I have to go to London to meet publishers or whatever, I do that on my own, but come back the same day. I'm not liking that too much. Anyway, so basically Derek Acorah turned out to be a dishonourable individual. I had written a script for a film called The Ghosts of England, and I'd arranged all the locations, a bit like Most Haunted. In fact, very much like Most Haunted. And I went up, I got the team from America, the International Society for Paranormal Research, to come over, and we got a film crew, and we filmed it. It's on Amazon, you can see it, The Ghosts of England. It's on a double DVD. It's The Ghosts of England and The Ghosts of Belgrave Hall. If you could think back about 30 years, it was on the news. They had CCTV cameras that caught this movement in an old museum near Birmingham called Belgrave Hall, yeah? And I agreed with the local authority get there to actually get entrance to the hall at midnight, and we went in and filmed in there with Derek Acorah and the International Society for Paranormal Research, and we did a big expose of what it was, and the same with all the other locations that we did around England. We did a place in Radcliffe called Tong Hall, which is burnt to the ground now, but it's out there, still out there. And subsequently I got Derek a TV series, and that was on Granada TV. And it was on Granada TV, yeah, Breeze I think it was called, or something like that, but it was part of Granada, filmed in Granada TV. And he was good at that, and following that he got on to Most Haunted, but then he started to turn into Professor Dr. Daddy Magumba, PhD, and started throwing himself about, pretending to be possessed by demons and Dick Turpin, and that was when we got all that Mary Loves Dick and all that bollocks. And I even saw him once on television. He was pretending to be receiving messages from a dog. Oh yeah, I see your dog here, it's a big dog. He said, I've got a message for you here. And believe it or not, it's still there on YouTube somewhere. He's going, woof, 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 woof. I mean, he made my efforts as Daddy Magumba look tame. Let me believe me. So that's a little show business story today. I know I'm digressing from the prisons, and I don't think Derek Acorah had ever been in prison. Although he's gone now anyway. He died about 4 years ago in January. I think he had at the early part of that COVID outbreak. I think he was struck down by that. So it's that time of day, folks. I'll hit the song dinger. There you are. That's a warning for all you lot who don't like my singing and my poetry. But here we go. I'm going to read you a poem now. Yeah, sorry if it gets a light in your eyes. This is by William Henry Davis. It's called Leisure. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs as long as sheep or cows, no time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass, no time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night, no time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet, how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this, if, full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. Leisure by W.H. Davis. Right, well, on the 4th of June, Tuesday the 4th of June at 7 p.m, here we're going to have a live broadcast. I want you going to join in. All of you join in, if you will. That'd be very good. Thank you very much for watching. It's Tales from the Jails, more Tales from the Jails, very soon.